From the studios of Farm Journal Broadcast, this is AgDay.
A new stream is born.
Maybe it sparks a curiosity, a creativity, and it also teaches them about our world.
How this project is helping spur student knowledge and helping nature. A week after many producers were forced to dump milk, has the situation improved? We have an update. As farmers in the Midwest fight for every drop of rain they can get.
But we're on fumes as far as soil moisture goes.
We check in with farmers in Illinois as the corn crop heads into an important stage right now on AgDay. Good morning, I'm Clinton Griffiths. Illinois farmers got off to a record fast start this planting season in what looked like the perfect setup to a successful season. However, AgDay's Michelle Rook joins us, and Michelle, Mother Nature has changed that potential in a real hurry, hasn't she?
That's right, Clinton. Parts of Illinois are experiencing a flash drought, receiving little to no rain since the crop was planted. And even though it's early, there are farmers that believe they're suffering yield loss, and without a major rain soon, they're on the verge of a potential disaster. The 2023 crop season got off to a great start for Central Illinois farmer Brad Wade. Even though he had to replant some beans due to frost, he got an excellent stand on both beans and corn. However, nearly 70% of the state is now short to very short on subsoil moisture.
Our subsoil moisture here north of McLean is very poor. We've had just enough rain since planting to keep things going, but we're on fumes as far as soil moisture goes.
So crop stress is becoming a real concern, especially in corn as it's heading into pollination, its key reproductive stage.
We're starting to see the effects of some drought stress. Field of corn behind me is starting to roll up, and it's 11 o'clock in the morning. It's been relatively cool overnight, so that's a danger sign.
And with only 48% of the corn rated good to excellent in the state, Wade says it's already resulting in yield loss.
So the degree of damage is a 300 bushel corn that's now 280. Somebody's not going to worry too much about that. But if it's 250 corn going to 200, that's kind of a bigger deal. I think we're 10 days away from that. We need a rain by the 1st of July to really stop the damage, because we're determining rows around on corn right now or already have, so that's going to be a factor.
Soybeans are an August crop, but Wade says with only 47% rated good to excellent, that crop is also in jeopardy. Stunted plants won't put on as many nodes or pods, hurting yield potential. He just hopes El Nino changes the weather pattern before it's too late. I'm Michelle Rook reporting for AgDay.
All right, thanks, Michelle. Now, the South is the focus for weather right now with extreme heat and storms in the southeastern part of the country. About 35 million people were under heat alerts to start the week. The biggest areas of concern, Texas and Louisiana, where temperatures were expected to soar into the triple digits. That's up to 15 degrees above normal for this time of year. Meanwhile, there was the concern for damaging wind, large hail, and heavy rain from areas of Texas all the way to Florida. And the high heat and storms come on the heels of more severe weather sweeping through the South over the weekend. A deadly tornado hitting Jasper County, Mississippi, in the southeastern portion of that state, killing one person and injuring dozens more. The Jasper County Emergency Response Team setting up a station to help people impacted by that storm. And the Mississippi Emergency Management Agency reporting more than 49,000 homes were without power. Meteorologist Matt Engelbrecht joins us. And Matt, you're keeping watch on several weather events today.
Yeah, a couple of things that we're going to be monitoring, and not necessarily widespread severe weather, but pockets of severe weather with a few thunderstorms kicking up the Dakotas. Is coming up for our Tuesday, and then once again down here into the southeast. Now that's taking care of the severe weather. In terms of the tropics, something that we're going to have to continue to keep our eye on deep in the tropics is another tropical system, but we are far away from any direct impacts from that. I just want to let you know that we are monitoring that situation. As we go into our Wednesday, the focus turns more into parts of the panhandle of Texas and Oklahoma, back up into Colorado and to the north, with the potential for a few severe storms. As we get through the next couple of days, where we're going to be following the rain chances, we're also going to be following some dry air, and that includes parts of the Midwest. And check out this video captured last week during that big storm that pushed through the South. Now just look at the skies over Florida light up. These were taken from a plane flying overhead, a seemingly endless lightning storm. Of course, we say it all the time, a good idea not to be under those clouds, and if you can hear thunder, you can be struck by lightning. When thunder roars, get indoors. I'll have more on your forecast coming up.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has met with Chinese President Xi Jinping. He says they have agreed to stabilize deteriorated U.S.-China ties. But after meeting Xi on Monday, Blinken said China is not ready to resume military-to-military contacts, which is something the U.S. considers crucial. Yet both sides said they were satisfied with progress made during 2 days of talks.
I came to Beijing to strengthen high-level channels of communication, to make clear our positions and intentions in areas of disagreement, and to explore areas where we might work together when our interests align on shared transnational challenges, and we did all of that.
Blinken is the first U.S. Secretary of State to visit Beijing in 5 years. Xi said he was pleased with the outcome and said the sides agreed to resume a program of understandings he and President Biden agreed to at a meeting in Bali last year. The USDA is investigating a possible data breach related to a broader hack of U.S. government agencies. Officials with the Ag Department say the data breach apparently involves a contractor and impacts a small number of workers. The government says it will contact and provide support to anyone affected. Officials disclosed the broader attack of U.S. agencies on Friday, and they suspect Russian cyber criminals are to blame. The Office of Personnel Management and 2 organizations with the Department of Energy also were apparently targeted or breached. So which of the big 3 crops saw the biggest gains over the past couple of decades? If you said soybeans, well, you're right. Now take a look at this chart from USDA. Between 2002 and 2022, soybeans were the second most planted crop in the U.S. You can see that line in green. Now in 2018, it was the most planted crop at slightly less than its peak of 90 million acres. In all, soybean acreage grew by 18% during that time. Corn acreage increased 12%, and wheat acres, well, they fell by 22%. That dip in soybean acres is due to lower prices in the trade war with China and some heavy spring rains in 2019. But numbers have rebounded most of the way since. Milk markets have been ugly. Is any relief in sight? We'll discuss that next in analysis. And later, we're off to Tennessee, where a special project is helping to restore the natural flow of this stream. See the impact it's having on the land around it in the country.
AgDay is brought to you by Farm Shop MFG. Did you know that 20% of stored corn is often overventilated by 3 points of moisture? On 100,000 bushels, that's a whole semi-load. Stop this problem for less with the End Zone for Corn by Farm Shop MFG. Specially priced at $2,100 per unit while supplies last.
Markets were closed on Monday due to the federal Juneteenth holiday. Michelle Rook is back with a deeper dive into our milk markets and whether relief from these lower prices is on the way in Markets Now.
Welcome to Market Analysis. Brian Doherty with Total Farm Marketing joining us. And Brian, we have had new contract lows here recently in this milk market on Class 3 fluid prices. How much lower do you think we're going to go here?
And the honest answer, I don't know. We've been in this downtrend for some time, and typically you see sort of recoveries and you get a chance. But what's happened in the milk industry is we've talked about this before, you had this big blow up in prices, you've had good revenues, and the milk industry expanded. And then when prices head lower, they expand some more. The big capitalized dairies are not exiting. They've spent a lot of money to grow their operations. On top of that, a problem that could exist now, affecting not always in the future, but now, is that deferred months have held good premiums. Risk management tools, hedging, insurance, they've protected price. So we're going to extend out that period before the herd begins to contract, and the pain really requires producers to pull in on their production. And so right now it's problematic. What can change that? Demand picks up with low prices. We expect that to improve. We expect farmers to be closer to the knife on cull cows and heifers. But with corn prices now rallying and meal prices rallying, that too will be a catalyst to start reducing the herd, but we just haven't seen a sign that the bottom is in yet.
Yeah, do we really have that much more milk on the market, or is it just the fact that the demand has slowed down that much, or a combo?
It's a combo. It's a combo. So the demand is slow, the recessionary talk, exports, China's economy. You can kind of go on and list them one after another that you can contribute to the downtrend. Downtrending markets have their own life, and that is they're pessimistic, and those who sell find it easy to continue to sell. So that adds pressure, or what I call unintended or sales, where if I sold milk 2 months ago and I'm a speculator and I'm ahead a dollar a hundredweight, I don't have a lot of risk to sell more milk. The trend is still down. So until we kind of clear that selling out and get a reason for the end user to come in and buy, unfortunately, I think we're still in this downtrend. We just haven't seen a sign that it's done yet.
So what is your marketing advice for dairy producers?
The deferred months are still holding premiums. Continue to hedge those months. I would hedge them with futures because futures are liquid and you can move out of those contracts in a hurry. Continue to be a defensive hedger. Continue to be, we talked about this a month ago, keep your pencil sharp. Continue to be a buyer or a risk shifter of your corn and soybeans and soybean meal and your products. Now all of a sudden we got a weather market there. So now we got to talk about how to manage that side of the equation as well, if you haven't done so already.
Thanks so much, Brian Doherty with Total Farm Marketing. That's Markets Now, and more Ag Days coming up.
To discuss marketing strategies, call 800-334-9779.
Ag Day is brought to you by Lamar's Toy Store, the largest and most diversified farm toy store in the U.S. They have new and old and do restorations and customizations too. You need to see it to believe it. Visit lamarstoystore.com or call us at 712-546-4305.
I want to start off looking at the flooding potential Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. While percentages aren't going to be all that high, what they tell us is kind of where the ingredients are coming together for substantial rainfall. Now on Tuesday, similar to what we had this past weekend and last week, start to see that southeast with a low pressure system developing. We get into the 15 to 40% chance of some flooding rains into the Carolinas, South Carolina and North Carolina, but also into the southeast. And earlier, we were looking at the chance for a few stronger, if not severe, thunderstorms in the Dakotas. If we don't see the severe weather, hopefully we don't, certainly the potential for some heavier downpours in those locations. Again, that's on Tuesday. On Wednesday, a little bit more broad area could see some flooding, rainfall, or at least some good rainfall back up in the Dakotas, extending all the way back down here into the panhandle of Texas and even Oklahoma. That's 2 days in a row that the Carolinas continue to see the potential for some heavy downpours. Looking at upwards of about 5, maybe even 6 inches of rain between our Tuesday, Wednesday, and also into our Thursday. You can see I flipped this over to Thursday, but not much has moved. So it's something that we're going to have to keep an eye on, the flooding potential the next couple of days in the Carolinas. And back out into the plains, the Dakotas, again, as some much needed rainfall starting to move in across the area. The other part of this, where we see severe weather, could see some strong wind gusts, but this is all part of a much bigger system within the jet stream that's going to bring rain back here to the plains and the southeast, with the possibility of some stronger winds. Quiet weather into the Midwest where we need the rain, and that drought is starting to show up. Again, there's a wind gust forecast for you Wednesday night. And by the time we get into our Thursday, breezy around this low pressure system in the southeast, especially into Ohio, Virginia, and Pennsylvania. Again, that's for your early Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon. Jasper, we got some evening thunderstorms in the forecast, high around 85 degrees. Buckeye, normally you hear Buckeye, you think Ohio. This time it's a little different and mostly sunny in Arizona, high around 88 degrees. And then El Dorado, high of 92, low of 68.
We told you about dairy farmers having to dump milk in the upper Midwest. We have an update coming up next. And later, how returning a stream back to its natural state can create big benefits for the land. We'll explore the concept in Tennessee, in the country. June is Dairy Month, but so far it's been a tough milk month for many dairy producers. As we've been telling you, some farmers have been forced to dump milk as of late amid an oversupply and milk prices plummeting. Dairy market watchers say much of the upper Midwest processing capacity is maxed out. Mitch Thompson, among those forced recently to dump milk. Now, he owns Thompson Family Dairy in Lewiston, Minnesota. He blames aging processing plants, a lack of labor, and an increase of milk production for the problems, but he says he hasn't had to dump milk since last Sunday.
We've dumped, it kind of bounced on and off, so it kind of jumped between a couple different people, but we dumped probably 3 or 4 days worth of milk, total, but it was spread out. There was a couple times in between when you dump and then you wouldn't.
Thompson telling AgDay he is concerned it'll happen again with ongoing labor issues, along with dairy farmers getting even more efficient and producing more milk. He thinks the issue of too much milk on the market isn't going away anytime soon. Now, there are reports Dairy Farmers of America is withdrawing its membership with the International Dairy Foods Association. News reports say it's over IDFA's plan to go with a single-issue petition to modify the federal milk marketing order system. DFA calling the milk pricing policy proposal to USDA divisive, adding the policy position contradicts what it believes to be in the best interest of farmers and the dairy industry. IDFA's Senior Vice President in Public Affairs and Communications responding, saying it feels it is taking a balanced, inclusive approach that is in the best interest of the full dairy supply chain. USDA has said it is considering 38 proposals from 12 different organizations on proposed pricing changes to the milk market. It's getting easier to find ear tags once again. DairyHerd.com reporting one of the big suppliers of them, Allflex, is back in full production mode. You'll remember during the pandemic, we told you the company was dealing with the availability of workers and a supply of raw materials to make the tags. Now Merck Animal Health, the company behind those tags, says it has invested in expanded manufacturing, and it says the company is back up to pre-COVID production levels. Coming up, there's a newly rebuilt stream in Tennessee. Why this one is important to both students and wildlife in the country.
In the Country on Ag Day is brought to you by Pivot Bio. What if you had the nitrogen you need already on seed? Pivot Bio is the first company to apply nitrogen on seed. The nitrogen you need, now on seed, from Pivot Bio. Learn more at pivotbio.com.
A new man-made waterway could be helpful to the environment and create an educational opportunity for children in Tennessee. The University of Tennessee's Institute of Agriculture is teaming with the Ford Motor Company at its Lone Oaks Farm 4-H Center for a stream mitigation project. Charles Denny has more on the opening of camp and how this restoration could change a landscape forever.
What used to be a straight ditch is now a stream that twists and turns, cutting through farmland and bordering pretty woods. It's a man-made venture, but nature benefits. This is the stream mitigation project at Lone Oaks Farm, the new 4-H Center for West Tennessee. After years of planning and lots of work, crews cutting a swerving path for the waterway, a new stream is born.
We noticed that we had some streams that needed a little bit of work just over time. The routes had changed on them for various reasons. It was a great opportunity to bring those back into their natural state.
Lone Oaks is known for its trees and pasture, but also 16 bodies of water. This restoration project covers 20,000 feet of stream shoreline. The stream mitigation project should help in preventing floods and create wildlife habitat. This effort is an agreement between UTIA, the Tennessee Wildlife Federation, the West Tennessee River Basin Authority, and the Ford Motor Company. Ford is building its new Blue Oval City in the area, which includes environmentally friendly automotive production. The agreement totals $16.5 million for Lone Oaks and the stream restoration.
Basically, you just take a degraded stream and restore it back to its naturally functioning state. And then you can use that to satisfy regulatory requirements of people who want to develop property.
1, 2, 3. This day, UTIA leaders kicked off the opening of the season, cutting the ribbon on Lone Oaks, now ready to host children in overnight camps. Lone Oaks features STEM-based programming for 4-H'ers, science, technology, engineering, and math. And now part of their fun might also include learning about the stream mitigation.
But now when you start talking about the environment, you start talking about STEM education, and you give youth the opportunity to get a hands-on experience at a very early age, maybe it sparks a curiosity, a creativity, and it also teaches them about our world.
More than 5,000 children will visit Lone Oaks this summer and coming year. As they study the waters that flow through here, they'll see beauty, science, and stewardship wrapped into one environmental effort. This is Charles Denny reporting.
All right, thanks, Charles. And that's all the time we have this morning. We're sure glad you tuned in. From all of us here at AgDay, including Griffiths, have a great day.